Welcome to Rauta Underground Trio. Once again, we have three different albums from three different parts of the world. Well, only two different parts of the world because we have two Finnish bands and one from Australia. These are all, however, quite different from one another in terms of music, so at least that applies. However, there's one unifying thing to connect all these dots here, and that's the label Bestial Burt. So basically, this is Bestial Burt special with three different releases. First, quick alphabetical order release, and then from worst to best according to my own opinion. Once again, feel free to disagree. First, we have this Kids Antidote, and this is punk rock with a metallic twist, but still punk. Then we have Poisoner, which is black heavy metal, I would say, this time. And finally, One Man Operation, well, now with a full lineup and all, Torturium from Finland, raw black metal. Now, I guess a lot of you people are now figuring out what's the order in my opinion, but I'll prove you wrong. It's not starting with punk, but Poisoner's debut album. A few years ago, Poisoner did their first MCD, and that was actually pretty decent, but no cigar. I didn't like too much at the production. It was kind of a weak for that kind of stuff, and when it comes to songwriting, it was more like a promising demo level stuff, but no cigar as of it yet. However, this time is less black thrash, and it seems like thrash here elements are now replaced but more heavy metallic approach. Yes, some might still point it out, yeah, they surely have the kind of a Destroyer 666 kind of a style, to a certain degree anyway, where it kind of gets more thrasher. But then again, Destroyer 666 has never been just one trick pony. Their blend of black, thrash, heavy, whatever speed metal is not the most simplistic, and as such, Poisoner having a little bit that of in their DNA is also quite of a hybrid. Now, I would say this is a small step backwards from the previous MCD, but obviously feel free to disagree. Because the thing here is, now it seems like the production hasn't evolved at all, which I think is essential when you're kind of doing black thrash or black heavy metal like it is in my opinion. But more so, I think the songwriting is, somehow just stagnant. The point here is, for every better black metallic or heavy metallic riff that is being played here, there is a bunch of just pure mediocrity. And I hate to say it, but I am not getting the vibe here that this is delivering you punches from left and right, more like a little bit of drunken nodding here and there. So my point here is, where is the energy? Where is the anger? Where is the hate? Where is the thing with this kind of stuff? Because basically I like when black and thrash or black and heavy metal are married together, and you got the kind of energy from heavy metal or thrasher background, and then you combine it with rather sinister or dark black metallic thing going on. Now it seems like the only black metal related thing here is the vocals, which are still the kind of raspy stuff. But when it comes to the riffs, a lot of them are not really thrashy enough. They are not even black enough. And then you go like, okay, what it is with heavy metal and black metal vocals, and like, it's not gonna fly unless you really have the killer riffs. For me, it's kind of a basic stuff, easy to listen, easy to forget, easy to move on. That's hardly a compliment. It's not like this album is bad, but it's just one of those bands that you've heard millions of times before, or at least similar quality, even if the band is a little bit not unique but rare in its own breed. So some nice things are happening here and there, but I feel like this is, in my opinion, a small step backwards. So once again, they do have the potential, but I need more emotion, be it hate, be it anger, be it some kind of aggressiveness, and unfortunately, this isn't delivering those. So the potential, tap into it. Then we go to this punky band, Kids Antidote, Flamingos. Flamed out Flamingos. I was like, there's something wrong with that, saying that. Removing these ads here, so let's take a look at this booklet. So this is like, okay, 1980s called and wanted their music back, and this got delivered. This is delivering a very simplistic kind of a back to the basics kind of a punk stuff with metallic twist. And by metallic twist, I really mean this playing ain't sloppy, and the production is actually quite ass-kicking. Something what I like here. So it's almost like, let's add a layer of Motorhead into the game, but still keep it kind of a punky, and that's it. The vocals are probably the most obvious thing when it comes to, doing the punky approach. And then there are these riffs where it's like, hey, we don't give a fuck. We do punk music. If you don't like it, piss off, I'm drinking, kind of a mentality. I think there's a good level of grooviness and energy with this given album. Obviously, the songs could be a little bit more memorable. I mean, this is not the next Ramones kind of a thing, like, hey, we're gonna blow your speakers with a bunch of hit songs. But I like how this is executed. Like I said, the production is solid, the vocals are doing what you would expect from a punk stuff, and then there are a bunch of good riffs and songs that you just have a beer or two. So like I said, not the most memorable one, but after all, if you're looking for some kind of a metallic, punky hybrid, which do the deal just like you were expecting, this is actually that. So pretty nice of a release in my opinion. The best of the pile, however, goes to Finland with Torturium's comeback album. This band was gone for about 18 years. Previous album for 2006 or 2007, something like that. So people know this band, obviously, I guess, mostly for early Satanic War Master era. Lord Torek, the only main member of the band, was in Satanic War Master a few early years, around 2001, 2005, give or take, roughly those years. And around 2005 released their first album. And then another one in 2006 or so, then faded away. Almost like fading away from the scene or just becoming a musician of different styles. Who knows? Who cares? And as such, I guess this project was seen or thought to be, buried, dead, long gone. However, here they are, that 18 or almost 19 years later, with a new album. Now, however, these songs are a lot older. If I remember correctly, there was something to be said like these were originally created around 2008, but just finished a lot later. So here we are, early 2025, with this raw end of black metal. Now, if you like the early era Satanic War Master and what Torek did in the band, this is definitely for you. If you like the previous albums, once again, definitely for you. This is almost like tapping the same veins as those bands that came after Darkthrone, tapping their somewhat similar veins. Think about Armageddon and Crafts and other bands that are like Darkthronists, but not Darkthrone, obviously. And this is roughly where it goes. You have the rough, raw end of black metal production. You have those affected vocals, which are kind of rough and raw also. And then you have the songwriting, which is definitely, paying its homage to early 90s or mid 90s black metal. The very basic, stripped down, simplistic, no keyboards, no female vocals. None of that stuff really happening here, but the basic kind of riffs that rip your lungs out of your chest. That is, if you can handle this kind of stuff. I am not saying this is a future classic, but it has all the potential to be. Had it come out some 20 years ago, and this could really be one of those missed gems. But it's never too late to release good stuff, and this is kind of a proof of that. You don't really need to reinvent the wheel or any kind of a creation. You can just tap into the powerful riffs, have them go with the raw end of production, and then you get an album like this. So it's a good one, even if not exactly super great. So off you go. Give it a go, and once again, links are provided in the description box, and if you can find something else, try using YouTube search, and you should be able to find at least the bands or labels uploads for given music. And now, off you go and enjoy.